What's going on, Dumbmarks? Welcome into episode 215 of the Dumbmarks podcast. We got the full crew here today. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Doing good. Yourself?
Good. Not too bad. Actually got some sleep the past couple days, so feeling kind of relaxed a little bit.
I get that every day.
A couple naps in between.
That's one thing I don't slack on. Sleep.
Sleep and snacks.
That should be a shirt. Sleep and snacks. No, we here. We're good. A little tired. Binge watched Cobra Kai last night. So I'm fully caught up.
Jason earmuffs.
No, I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not gonna go into it. But man, what a show! What a freaking show! Like it continues to climb to be in my top 5 shows of all time. Like seriously, it's top 5.
One more part left. What, like 5 or 6 episodes?
I'm gonna be so depressed whenever it ends. I'm gonna be so depressed whenever it ends because it's not coming back on. Like, and then I'm gonna have to go through and rewatch from season 1 all the way through season 6. So
and then right after it's done, the new movie comes out. So
yeah.
We're trying to sway a coworker to watch it because he's like, I seen it on Netflix the first show, and I was like, this is too cheesy. I'm not watching. I was like, look, I'm one of the biggest critics, so if I enjoyed,
you
enjoy it.
It's good.
Yeah. So no, I'm here. I'm checked out. 48 hours from now, I'll be in the air going to my destination that shall not be named. But I'm in vacay mode for the week. So
done.
You clocked out yesterday and
clocked out. It was just done.
Bro, clocked out yesterday. I clocked out Tuesday.
When I gave you the beers, he was like, I'm done.
Yeah, he dropped them off on Tuesday, and I'm like, yo, I'm over it. I'm done. But got through the week, did everything I needed to do, work-wise, made sure all my P's and Q's and, I's were dotted, T's were crossed, so nothing blows up while I'm away. But, yeah, man, it's officially go time, T-minus, like I said, I will literally be in the air this time in 48 hours. So
that's how you spend Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Might have to turn this into an annual thing, depending how this goes, or rolling out the week of Thanksgiving. Because
you're going to be an empty nester soon. So,
yeah. Speaking of empty nesters and shows on TV, let me ask you guys a question. Even though you are non-parents, right? Have I failed as a parent if my 14-year-old is watching Narcos on Netflix?
I haven't even watched Narcos.
Have I failed as a parent?
No.
Like watching, I don't know, man. Kids these days, it's way different than whenever we were that age, right? Like,
I was watching shit way before I was supposed to back then.
And I know, like,
your first movie was a horror movie, right?
Close to it, probably.
Yeah, like I remember being at a friend's house and watching Boys in the Hood on VHS, and I couldn't even remember how old, but like I was like, I should not be watching this movie right now, like for a lot of things. But that movie also showed me some things that later turned out to play, an impact in my life. If you catch my drift. Shout out Nia Long. So but yeah, I went in the room the other day and I'm looking, there's Narcos on the TV. I'm like, what are you doing? So I'm watching Narcos. I'm like, what do you mean you're watching Narcos? Like, that's not just something that, like you're not old enough to be watching this. Like, she's like, we've already watched El Chapo, and I'm like, all right, like the genie's out it's out. Like, I can't do nothing about it. Like, I can't do nothing about it.
I was gonna say, didn't your wife show her Bad Moms Christmas a couple years
ago?
Yeah,
that started, 3-4 years ago, whenever that dropped. So I'm like, like
you said, Pandora's box is open. It's just like,
yeah.
At least your kids mature enough to differentiate too, and not take that as an influence. So,
it's crazy though. Like we're having discussions.
That's kind of
about
to be determined, but
well, I'm hoping she's the one I gotta worry about.
House paid off, Dad.
Don't you worry about it.
She's the one I gotta worry about. But yeah, breaking down grams and ounces may be a different conversation when it comes to math homework with her. Yeah, like I was thinking that question this week. I'm like, have I failed as a parent that my 14-year-old is watching Narcos?
No, because I know I was watching some shit too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Mhm.
They get exposed to shit way early. Like it's too difficult to try to taint it all
when
Yeah.
did Sopranos come out?
to where they're
like-
not going to see
Was
stuff.
that like 99, 2000 ish, like
I
around
mean, I was
there?
watching that. I was 16 maybe, but
I mean, 16 and 14 is a little different. Like, but then again, I'm like, all right, she's in 9th grade. And, I'm thinking back to like, man, whenever I was in 8th grade, shit I was doing. So like, all right,
Mhm.
HBO After Dark. I mean,
yeah. It was-
Yep.
not only from that, but just with with nickels and dimes.
That was
Just an
extreme enough.
ECW.
yeah,
You can live with
True.
everything sprinkled in.
True. I may be a little insufferable on this pod today. Just throwing that out there.
today.
Yeah, a little insufferable today.
Okay,
We going heavy on the mush?
No. I'm gonna try to.
we're covering AEW Full Gear today. That's why.
I'm not gonna. Although Wednesday again was strong contention for me to put
Oh,
the
man.
entire show for the 3rd week in a row as my mush. But no, we'll get to it when we get to it. But yeah, so wherever the captain leads us today, you're looking mighty smelt on the screen. You're looking smelt right there, Chris. You went from but you're like half the man I used to know. Literally half the man I used to know. Like
A third.
a third, okay.
Third, yeah.
We're doing good things. Like I said,
Yeah, doing big things
We're all
over there.
trying.
You'll be in Jason's mediums before we know it.
Cool.
he wants to borrow your V deck.
I do want-
DV, the DV
I got
taco
that
meat,
popcorn.
Oh,
That taco
yeah.
meat table show.
the DV taco meat recap
Recap.
that you put out was just. I saw it pop up, and I'm like, man, he got them curly Q taco meat in the middle of this frame,
Hey yo,
all out right now.
Yeah, just need the toothpick.
you did it. Hey yo, look at my ride.
Terrible.
Next step is take the beard and braid it together.
I've been thinking about rubber banding it up. I'm tired of doing it. So
Pull
Coming
the
out
ends
there-
off, huh?
Coming out there like Gene Snitsky, just with a braided beard at the head.
Oh man.
also, Steve, I know where you're going. You're going to be insufferable. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh, I hope we're on the same wavelength because boy, oh boy.
So we're gonna flip it a little bit today. Since we
Uh-oh.
got Full Gear predictions, we're gonna go Mush, Rushmore, and then Full Gear because I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of shit on those two. So we'll bookend it together.
So you're putting mushes with Full Gear? That's how you're going to book this?
I have a feeling.
This compliment sandwich, as they say.
So who wants to kick things off with their Mush?
I'll start off. My wish comes from NXT, Andre Chase. What you doing with the man? What are you doing with the man? I mean, this
I
dude.
think you found out Tuesday.
I mean, this dude, he could never win a high-profile match single-wise, and if he does it on tag, it's only for to win the tag, and he loses the next time. I mean, he is the most over jobber I have ever seen in wrestling, and that's going like with Barry Horowitz and all
I
that
was gonna
stuff.
say Barry Horowitz was up there.
Man, he was up there. I mean, but what are you doing? I mean, Chase U is just basically just to get your feet wet in the promotion and just go with it.
It's entertainment.
Bro,
Entertainment, but you got to win sometimes.
He's there to entertain.
You
I
got to
thought
win
He won the tag
sometimes.
titles, right?
Hey, Chelsea Green's on that level right now.
And Chelsea Green is greater.
Pause.
Chelsea Green is
Pause.
Chelsea Green
Pause.
is way greater than Andre Chase.
Pause, because I'm
Entertainment.
sure that's going to come up. Pause. We're not going because we'll get off into a 15-minute tangent on Chelsea Green right now. So let's pause. Pump the brakes on that.
Is greater. I mean, but I know that they need like a heel for Trick to fight, and of course, is that dude that I hate. But still, I mean, what you gonna do with the man?
I
What you gonna
thought
do?
that
Just vignettes.
as much as
And we know how much you love Ridge.
Yeah, that dude I hate.
as disappointed as I was that he lost, right?
More over than Shark Boy.
Shark Boy was pretty freaking over.
Yeah, he was.
As much as disappointed as I was that he lost, I thought they did a really good job in the match of like taking that moment away from the fans.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had the W, like it was in the bag. And when the kick out happened, I'm like, damn, they got me. Like they got me. I thought he was gonna keep it alive and keep it going. But Chase U has been around for how many years now? Like we don't get this type of long-term
with a group,
faction group, whatever you want to call it, like in pro wrestling. They don't normally run for the length of time that Chase U has been around. Like, and they've done the demise and the rise of Chase U already with JC Jane coming in and saving it and all that. Like they've told the stories that
multiple times.
Yeah, multiple times. Like as much as Chase U has been a benefit to individuals and Duke has had his moments, but it's also been to me like a hindrance. Like you had to end it in order to actually see what those main four can do outside of the Chase World bubble. Like you had to eventually do it because a lot of them have been around for a long time. Duke's been there a long time. Chase has been there a long time. Thea's been there a long time. But you got to see at what point do you actually have something, or it's thanks for coming, see you later, right? Like it's getting to that point with them because they've been there for a while now.
Mm-hmm. My only worry is where does Chase and Duke go? Like, what do they have as their own character? Because there you can see going somewhere, and Riley is just a good ass wrestler. But you can put against Nathan and Axiom and all those guys.
Duke's going back to being the poker man.
The poker man, I
don't need Chris Moneymaker 2.0 with Duke. Okay, that was a shit gimmick to begin with. I don't need it to spring up. Like character-wise, Duke has grown tremendously throughout this Chase U run. Like I've become a fan of Duke based off of what he's done in Chase U. I hated him before. So, we'll see, but
not a bad take.
No, that's not a bad take, DJ. But yeah, Donald, like I get why you put it on your mush, but at the same time, I'm looking at it objectively. I thought they did a tremendous job of taking that victory away from the people when the people really wanted it.
Yeah.
So, and it gets the heat on Ridge, which is
even
needed
more
against Trick. So. I don't agree with the push. I don't agree with the push of Ridge, but when you look at the male side of the bracket in NXT, outside of All Ego, there's not a competitive heel built up to challenge Trick as a babyface. So Ridge, just out of sheer spite, kind of gets slotted into that position, right? Like
I'm here. He's delivering for me. He's developing character. He's cutting good promos. He's separated himself from the fight night and the rugby player. So
yeah, in ring bell to bell, is he my favorite? No. Is he going to get to that point? No. Am I still always going to look at him as somebody that is a little too dangerous with things? Yeah, still has that stink on him. But at the same time, they've done a good job of building up somebody that you can hate that's going against your top babyface. And at the end of the day, that's wrestling 101.
Yes. Right now, who I'm rooting for.
Exactly.
To take the belt.
Yeah. So when Andre Chase leaves his whole Chase U gimmick and that stuff, I hope the next gimmick he gets is successful and finally give him his win. Because I mean, he tears it up in the ring, but I mean, you got to win sometimes. Wins and losses matter at some point.
Yeah, I never even thought of this being an issue, but that's a really good question. Like,
or the older people in NXT rent them.
Yeah.
Or they use their own cars.
Yo, driving your own car to an event is crazy.
I mean, because they're all mostly located in Orlando, so they're only driving to Florida, and then they're probably flying to the other events.
But how they getting
But-
from the air? I mean,
Yeah, but still, I ain't wrecking my ride for that.
no, don't get me wrong.
Or Uber.
The ages of the NXT roster, I know, scale a little bit younger, but some of those people are way older than what you think they are in NXT currently. So, but yeah, not mad at that being your mush, Donald. I can see why you threw it up there.
Jason, what do you got?
I'm gonna leave AEW alone today. I'm gonna just go with the pratfalls in WWE, like how Jade Cargill got took out last week, and she was bent up. That was just a problem for me.
Bet
She was bent up like she went through something. And you talk about, how are you?
She
And then
looked
Like
like
she fell off a bridge.
Yeah,
So
Ralph
like-
did the same thing on NXT. He was like a sketch outline. They were both just like, there's no way you fall like that. I'm like, that just irritated me every time they replayed it.
A movie did it one time, then everybody copied afterwards.
but the memes that came out of that, like her laying next to Peter Griffin and Family Guy, and just all like it was just the internet never fails when
I
it
saw
comes
the
to
Kurt
that
Angle one.
stuff. Yeah. Are you interested at all in figuring out who took her out?
No,
I am if they're bringing somebody in.
no.
Do you and Chris, this is more a question for you because of way back when Jade first debuted and the arguments we had going back then, me and you. Do you think this is them hiding Jade from a War Games match? Where I saw somebody tweet out Jade written off because they realized she had to do more than a pump kick and a press slam in War Games.
She's honestly been getting better, but yeah, I think to me it should have been Bailey in there to begin with. So
It's definitely possible. I mean, I think she's been teaming with Bianca long enough now that I think the match isn't all going to be Jade. It's going to be so many women intertwined in that match that the focus isn't going to be on her. That I think she could still pull off War Games, but
I mean, if you're pulling off if she is in War Games, if she does come back for War Games, I don't know how they do this in a week to get somebody else in there, right? If she does come back, just make her the last one to enter the cage.
That's it.
yeah.
Like,
How many times has that been done?
yeah, I mean, go back to the beginnings of War Games matches when you got Sid in there. Like, you think Sid could work 45 minutes in War Games? No. Like, it can be done. There's ways whenever you have that many women in there that you can hide and accentuate, hide the weaknesses, accentuate the strengths. You can get it done that way. But to take her out right now, I get why Jay's upset about how they did it and just the sheer comical nature of her being bent in that way on top of the car. But yeah, I don't know, man.
But you have what? So she's not going to be here for War Games. Saturday night's main event in December. So who knows if they had any plans for her there. Then what do you have? Then you have Rumble. So it's just like you give her a little break and bring her back in time for the Rumble and hype her back up again.
This angle last night, I two things came out of it for me. And I don't know if Jay, if you want to say anything else about your mush before you.
no, here.
All right, because what you said kind of leads into my mush, but also a question seeing the angle last night. Before I get to the mush, let's talk about the angle that I saw last night. If you're Jade, do you feel a certain way that Bianca hesitated to run back to your defense? Bianca paused way longer than she should have for somebody that is your tag team partner who you're tag team champions with that looks like they just got murdered in the back.
Mm.
She stood in the ring looking what do I do? Then she hopped out of the ring and kind of went back and forth and this and that. And by the time she got to the back, she's already in the ambulance. Like, you hesitated for damn near a minute and a half. Any other time we've seen that angle done, what happens? The person whose partner that is, they're immediately out of the ring sprinting to the back. There's no hesitation.
Planting the seeds already.
Mm-hmm.
So is this setting up the Bianca Jade finally getting the feud that we're all expecting from whenever they first paired them up? Is this the first seed planted? Because WWE is Marvel Easter egging the shit out of these shows now.
Well, you had the little stare down in the over the top match for the title. You had to stare down. You had them like kind of not, missing each other on hits, almost hitting each other on the outside of the ring on other matches. So it's been planted. So we're just seeing where it goes from here.
And still led Bell all the way back to the Rumble too, when they faced off.
Yeah.
But I feel like last night was like the first like
definite
true like seed, soil, water. Like, we're gonna let this start to grow now, because that other stuff has been present, but like last night watching it, I'm like, that like if I'm Jade, I definitely feel a certain way in this situation. Like, I get taken out and it takes you that long to get back to me. Like, you really thought about winning a U.S. title more than our tag team championships and seeing me laid out on top of the hood of a car getting thrown off of the dock. And this is kind of similar to what KO and Cody were going through with their promo last night, which we can get into later. But my bigger takeaway outside of the angle with Jade and Bianca and seeing Jade taken out and the adjustment to women's war games, that's my mush this week. And it's my mush because it literally means nothing. It's a match for a match's sake. Just having Rhea run out and yell war games, and I'm supposed to get fired up and invested in this a week and a half out from your show? Nah, miss me on that. Why did they not just do the original 5v5 Strive to Survive? Just make this your traditional Survivor Series match.
Yeah, not everything has to be war games.
Yeah. You're going to have a big one on the men's side, Basically, you don't need a women's one. You don't have to do 2 war games.
Yeah.
No, you don't. And you can still, the 5v5 traditional still would get the same amount of time as the war games. Because you have how much time for them to actually get into the cage, then the cage draw, or you know what I'm saying? And then the bell rings and you actually have the match, which is another however many minutes. So, like, you still can give the women the time. I'm not saying take the time away from the women because you changed the stipulation to the match, but why not just make it your traditional Survivor Series match? The traditional
Rikishi do it.
It was Tamina.
Yeah. Where's Tack One? But your traditional Survivor Series matches used to be your groups put together because of a bunch of different storylines and feuds, and that would be how you got there. Well, if you look at the women that are across from each other in this situation, that's exactly the case.
It is.
Like when Triple H came in, he said, and Vince was on this for a while too, that the traditional Survivor Series had just played out a bit. So Triple H thought that War Games was a good evolution to Survivor Series. And it's cool, but it doesn't, just like any other theme pay-per-view we've talked about, it doesn't need to happen like guaranteed every year. Like whenever it makes sense to do it.
Don't turn it into a Hell in a Cell pay-per-view wherever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just know automatically we're getting a cell match. Like, don't do that. But you had the ability to just do your traditional. That way everybody gets their flavor. You hit tradition, you hit nostalgia, and it's not the entirety of the show, but you get it. It's valid based on the women that are in the match.
Yep.
They're still getting their time. It's still something to fight for. And
then Jade would have been fine in that.
Yeah. That's my mush. You just throw the War Games together match for the women, and and then it doesn't even it makes even less sense coming after the Saudi show, after Nia and Liv wrestled for the ultimate women's champion of women's champions. So now Nia and Liv are just okay. We're cool
Okay, yeah.
because no, like, come on, man, don't do that to me. Don't insult my intelligence like that. That's what the other show does a lot, insult people's intelligence. But
They do it too.
Yeah.
They all do it.
Yeah. But that announcement of women's war games was my mush of the week this week.
Mine's actually not in the world of wrestling this week.
Ooh.
The bane of my existence lately has been social media, and not the people of social media, but the social media that we interact with on this show. Because Facebook been messing up, didn't air 2 weeks of our show. Surprisingly, it actually showed up today, so thank you for that. Instagram not posting our content. That's annoyed the hell out of me for a couple weeks, not being able to do polls and stuff. So all of social media the past couple weeks is just, they've grinded my gears completely. So
Kill Chris.
if there's one thing like a week that I could sit there and say that I just wanted to log off all social media forever, it was the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was a little hot in the group chat, whatever that came through. I'm like, what you mean? I see it on the feed. What are you talking about? Like, and then I went back through it. I'm like, wait a second. I don't see it on the feed. What happened?
Well, then like yesterday I came on and I was like loading up for the show like I normally do, and Facebook it kept saying an errors occurred. So like last week I was doing that too, like where I was logging out, logging back in. So I don't know if it's a restream problem or if it was a Facebook problem. I'm thinking it's more Facebook just because of all the issues I've been having with them the past couple of weeks.
Well, if it's Facebook and Insta, they're both the same. So
yeah,
like
exactly. Like Meta completely.
Yeah.
But then like I was actually able to do it this morning, but like Facebook didn't pick up like what it normally does, like the event for the show. So I was like, all right, is it going to stream today or not? And then luckily it did.
Bottom line is just go over to our YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications.
And
so
that's
you don't
all
miss
the
any
content.
of the show. Just go straight to YouTube. Everything is there. All the shows, all the archives, all the drink of the week segments, all the one gotta goes. Everything in a nutshell is on YouTube. So just go to YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live, and you can watch it on there and comment on there. So I know DJ's on YouTube right now watching it. So
you never know, DJ.
All this was on Chris Van Vliet this week talking about wanting to lace it up. Like he doesn't feel like he wouldn't be satisfied if he never had a match in WWE.
I can see that.
So
He's not that he's not that old.
No.
People don't realize how young he is as far as who's out there wrestling currently versus how old Nick Aldis is. And he can still go.
And if you're only in the WWE bubble, you don't understand how talented Pierce and Aldis really are in the ring.
Mm-hmm. I've never seen Pierce, but I've seen Aldis go.
Yeah, Pierce was one of those guys. I mean, Aldis too, to an extent, but Pierce was one of those guys where it's like, what, like, why didn't it ever work? Like, he's one of those few short lists that you can run through. And I know we're seeing a lot of names with indies now getting ID'd. And that could be a subject if somebody wants to bring it up, because I thought that might have been a mush this week from all the scuttlebutt about that with Kylie Ray getting ID'd and why she didn't get an actual contract and everything else. And I don't want to deep dive into the weeds on that.
There's too much of her personal life involved in her story.
Not only that, but like you gotta sign bigger names to make the program mean something, folks. It's a business. It's a work. Wrestling's work.
Yeah.
It's been
a
work.
I don't know if it's necessarily supposed to be bigger names. I think it's just a lot like the IDL, and just we're signing younger talent to keep an eye on them.
No, but what I'm saying is that you're going to see some names that get an ID contract that make no sense as to why they're only getting an ID contract. It's going to happen.
I'm sure.
And it's to build and establish the program outside of just your hardcore indie people that know everybody that's come across, because I don't know a single one of these people. She was the first person I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But everybody else outside of her right now, I got no clue who the hell these people
Who are
are.
you?
There's only one that I don't even know what he's like as a talent. I just know him to see him because he's with IWC here in Pittsburgh, and I've just seen him promoted for the events. So that's the only other one that I knew.
Yeah.
That
So,
McChesney.
Should be. Oh, DJ, you're better than that.
yeah, don't stoop to Twycon's levels just because he's not here yet.
Any other mushes for the week that we want to talk about real quick?
No, because we'll cover everything.
All right, Donald, kick us off with your Mount Rushmore.
Steve said it last week was his 1B, the Julia Hart vignettes. I mean, damn, they just keep getting better and better with stuff. I mean, her with the archery stuff and shooting the arrow, and then from last week, the little blood spot was in her heart. And I was just like, okay, we're getting somewhere. Still hate the fact that they cut Jamie off for no reason, but I'm really enjoying these vignettes a lot.
I'm gonna double you up here, Donald, because my Mount Rushmore this week was actually Steve Macklin's video packaging vignette in TNA from Thursday night. I got it on social media. I'll repost it if you haven't seen it.
No, I didn't watch that yet.
It's literally like 7 minutes long. Okay, it's like a mini movie.
You pull
right?
a final boss.
But honestly, I would say it's probably one of the best video packages TNA has ever done. And if you've been a fan of TNA for as long as TNA has been around, they've done some really good video packages stuff going back to the Borash years and everything else. But just in all of pro wrestling, it's up there. And then you brought up Julia again, Macklin, Nakamura last night. Again, like, I hate the placement. I hate doing it before the match because if you did it before the match, you automatically knew Santos wasn't going to win.
Yeah.
Not that Santos had a realistic shot, but you definitely killed any disbelief.
Yeah.
Right?
You do it earlier tonight.
Yeah. But like these packages and vignettes and production and everything, like everybody right now is crushing it. And I know AEW for the Julia Hart stuff went outside of their normal people, like to actually work and produce and deliver. But Julia and the girl who actually did the video pack, like, that's all Julia Hart coming up with that, writing that for her. Like, there's nobody putting that together for her. So the fact that the talent are showing the creativity, and it's coming across on screen in a way that's making me get invested in that person. Kudos across the board to everybody. Like, this made me get behind Macklin even more. It made me get behind Julia even more. 2 weeks in, I'm back behind Nakamura, even though he's been off TV for 17 months. Like, and I know he's not going to beat LA Knight, but still, like, what a video package can do for a talent. When it's done correctly,
it makes it make sense.
Makes it make sense, man. It just does.
When AEW was first formed, that was supposed to be what it was. The talent was supposed to be a lot more involved in the process of how they wanted their characters to come off. So that's a good thing that if
they're going back to
doing it.
And they're going back to the past using vignettes again. So something about this Netflix deal, you know, shorter attention span with some with some viewers. Throw a vignette out there, you know.
Yeah, you get like the Lyra and the Dakota too. Getting those like not rebrands, but
packages
like a reintroduction.
Yeah.
That Dakota package again. That was something from this week where I was like, all right, count me as a Dakota stan now. Where before I was like, okay, she's good, like she's in a ring and cool, like, but I never was like, yep, I'm on Team Dakota from a character investment standpoint. But that was like, yeah, all right, sign me up. I'm here. Where are you taking me on this journey now? So yeah, I'll double you up on vignettes this week, Donald. That was my Mount Rushmore. Was the Michael
really also back on the card tonight?
Yeah,
they are. Okay.
Yep.
I'm just trying to see how I want this to play out. Her return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got for the week, Jason?
Mine is the Miz and Karrion Kross on Monday night. I talked to y'all last week about
Another
one
one,
old school Survivor Series, one going in the camera, the other one pacing in the background. I loved everything about that. The Miz delivered, Cross delivered, and I'm interested to see where the final testament goes.
I said it
Finally.
a couple weeks ago, man. That like the stuff Cross has been doing.
Mhm.
I've been a fan of Cross since Lucha Underground TNA. Like he's just always been somebody that I like and enjoy. Period. Regardless of the characters that he's portrayed, and he is truly like a character driven wrestler.
Yeah.
So like if that's not your bag, if that's not your cup of tea, if you're under a certain age, I don't think that totally vibes with you. You're more into the moves versus the character. But for me, give me the character, and anything after that on top is just additional layers to what I think you could be potential wise. So to finally see like all the stuff that's been slowly done with him since his comeback, to now seeing, okay, we're getting actual like teeth in the bone as far as the story goes with him. And yeah, kudos to them again. That was another one with packages and vignettes that.
No,
Jason, that was almost mine this week.
no, Donald. I know you want to see him do something with this. Where do you see this going? Because I'm iffy when it's up against the Wyatts.
Yeah.
Here's the thing for me, and this is where they fell into the issues with Bray during certain moments of Bray's run. First off, the response from Uncle Howdy and Bo, and I damn near thought I was looking at Bray on the screen with the way Bo looked. Like it was eerie similar. You can't fall into the trap of just making him be this overpowering force that never loses until you have to book a situation where it comes off comically like they did with the Fiend. Like you have to give them something to fight against and overcome. So this Final Testament beef, I want to see Final Testament get one over on the Wyatts right now.
Same.
It's never going to hurt the Wyatts. It's only going to elevate the Final Testament.
Yeah.
So have them come through and actually be on the winning side of a feud where you just automatically think the Wyatts are going to steamroll through people and everybody they come up against.
And that's what I'm scared about. That's what's going to happen. Is that, like I said, you're telling this good story between the two, and we're just like, oh yeah, we're just going to have the Wyatts win, just like Steve said, supernatural miss whatever it is going to win over. And if it does that, it's going to hammer the Final Testament, and that's going to be back where I've been saying about the Final Testament. What are you doing?
Yeah. The interesting thing that I'm kind of wondering where it goes is both Cross and Miz are both so good in that devil's advocate type of character. So you're both kind of playing off a similar type thing, like. And I'm interested in seeing where that goes, like who the real puppet master is, or like who's the advocate type situation.
But I think that's what intrigues me the most about the pairing.
Yeah,
like this is a fresh coat of paint for Miz.
Yes, it is.
How many fresh coats did he keep killing?
The utility man, he keeps doing it.
Yo, that's literally what you need to do in pro wrestling, right? Like to stay relevant and have
keep reinventing.
You got to continuously reinvent and come back to things, change up from like we've seen Miz as a heel before, but if you look at the different Miz heel runs that he's had, every single one of them have been a different character.
Dare I say, mini Jericho?
Now that's
minus the in ring.
Yeah, well. I think Miz is underrated. I think Miz is underrated in the ring, honestly. But
definitely,
but yeah, having them two pair up, Chris, like to me, that's the most intriguing aspect of it. Like that's a mini story within the overall story, like you said, to view and figure out and watch and who's really pulling whose strings, etc. Like, yeah, layer that shit up, layer it up.
So somebody's the higher power then.
History repeats itself, man. You never know.
Chris, what was your Mount Rushmore?
Mine's coming from the New Japan Stardom crossover event, and it was the IWGP Women's Championship. The champions Iwatani versus Watanabe. Great match. Told a great story in the ring. It was about a 20-some minute match, but like they hit everything from starting out in the ring physically for that New Japan technical aspect to fighting in the crowd to doing like on the side of the ring type New Japan strong style stuff. It just all worked together and had like even like New Japan's good for like those false finishes, and you had it all in the match. It was a great match this week.
One of the best women's matches I've seen this year.
Okay. I got to jump
Legit.
on it.
Yeah.
Legit. One of the best.
Definitely.
And in a year where like, holy shit, matches of the year, like I know are like so over talked about in the moment, right? Like you just see that automatically posted once something happens. But legit, like it's one of the best women's matches of the year. Legit. So
yeah, if you haven't watched it, if you like that style into women's wrestling, into that New Japan style, I highly recommend the match.
yeah. So
All right, so DJ brought up.
all right, this is where I get on my insufferable train.
Oh, wait, where's it coming?
For those of you that tune in and watch the program on a consistent basis, I thank you. I thank you for your support. I thank you for your constant comments. I thank you for your engagements. For those of you that are brand new to the show,
There it goes.
okay? For those of you brand new to the show, welcome. All right. If you are brand new to the show, sit back, relax, pop a cocktail, grab a dad soda or two, enjoy the content you're going to get. Because the content that you get, well, it's probably arguably the best content out there from a podcast that may not be known on a really large scale yet. Okay? But what is undeniable when you get to this part of the program is that what I say comes true. And how I book things when I have the pen is how things play out. If you were paying attention and you joined the program, you knew that I said the wise man would come back. And who the wise man would bring with him was none other than CM Punk. And the wise man showed up last night. And who did the wise man bring back with him? CM Punk. Your Meltzers weren't saying it, right? Your Alvarez's weren't saying it, okay? Your Sean Ross Sapps weren't saying it. Your Sam Roberts weren't saying it, okay? None of them were saying it. You know who was saying it? Me. Where? On the Dumb Marks podcast. Okay? So just enjoy the booking that you're going to get from time to time that we provide on this show, because that's how it plays out. But you're welcome.
To be your MVP music to wrap up.
Creative, you're welcome.
I'm a doctor of a photo of DJ and Steve in that LeBron and Chris Paul dunk mean, because he just laid it up for you.
DJ just put it up in the comments there, right? Was it Punk joining the Bloodline was planning back in June? I'm not gonna go that far, but if we're Easter egging the shit out of things, and I saw the clip floated around after Punk came out last night, what Punk say whenever he showed up on SmackDown with Paul Heyman when Paul Heyman asked him to save him and take him with him? What'd he say? Roman Reigns, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. He said it in the ring. Now, the interesting part out of last night, other than the fact that what I booked came true and was correct, the very ending, before they faded to black, you see Roman talking to Punk. That's my wise man. And Punk just says, we'll see. And it ends. So now I got Roman and Punk potentially on the line, dangled in front of me as a feud. I got Punk and Seth with additional firepower now because Seth is even going to hate Punk more for going to help Roman than what he just already hates Punk for, generally speaking, which is everything under the sun twice on Sundays. I don't know where Paul Heyman's alliances actually lie.
Dressing up like Solo.
Dressing up like Solo.
Got the tan. When has Paul Heyman ever had a tan?
He came back darker than Sting at Starrcade 97. Bischoff would have put the title on Heyman last night for that tan. But there's so many things right now going on in the Bloodline universe that just keeps me there and invested. But you're welcome again. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed my PSA. But when I have the pen and I book shit, actually listen up because it comes true. Okay?
They say never, but I had Roman and CM Punk as never. Never. I had that on my never category. Just because of the history.
And to add into the Punk
how do you
and
change
Roman,
it? You know, put them together and see what happens.
Add into the Punk and Roman
Stone Cold
face
Vince.
off now, right? Although Punk acknowledged Roman at that point in time, way back when in June, he also followed that up by saying, never forget who the OG Paul Heyman guy is.
Brock Lesnar.
Should have just said, I'm here to make you look strong. This is one reason I hate social media, because I fell asleep right before that moment. Fell asleep. I was on my phone was on Facebook. I woke up to check the time and it refreshed. What do I see? First thing on my feed, Paul, Roman, CM Punk. Spoiled it for me.
Just getting spoiled about tons of shit today, huh?
Look, there were some legitimate like holy shit pops last night. Like LA Knight, holy shit pop. Like that crowd went bananas when that LA hit. Like he's still over, even though his title reign has been debatable at best, right? That ladies and gentlemen pop that Paul
crowd went
Heyman
crazy
got last night.
Crowd went crazy.
Oh,
Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Now, am I mad that they did it last night instead of this coming Friday? To drag it out a little bit longer? To build up more anticipation? To really drive home who's going to be the fifth man? I only think they did it because
last night was live and next week's taped.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that might have been a good thing, yeah, if it would have been the go-home show.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bloodline. We're here. Does Bronson follow up and hang out with Bloodline 2.0 after War Games? Well, he's on Raw. They're on SmackDown. And I know that don't mean nothing right now.
Yeah.
But I don't see it happening. Although, man, you talk about somebody that fits into a spot.
Mm-hmm.
Visually. And
man.
And
I think he'll be somebody like in their pocket the whole time, you know, just like if there's trouble or something like that. Hey, we got him on speed dial.
That's somebody
show up on Raw again.
That's somebody when The Rock is done wearing his bodysuit from Moana 2, the live action, that he can call up on Monday nights for a little. Hey, Bronson, take so and so out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Bronson, do this. Even though you got a heavy. Having two heavies in your group, Jacob and Bronson?
Well, then they had like the Moana 2 red carpet this week. It was like they had, so Rock was there, Cody was there with his family, and Seth was there with his family. It's just like, way to fucking ruin kayfabe.
Did it happen on WWE TV?
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But no,
we'll see this week if it shows up.
You saw Dwayne, Cody Reynolds, and Tyler Black.
Now here's a question for you, because I saw this rumor to be out there. Roman allegedly is going to be featured heavily on Raw once the shift to Netflix starts to get Raw established on Netflix prior to him going back over to SmackDown. For whatever that means, because we don't know Roman's schedule nowadays.
Yeah.
But if that's the case,
That's WrestleMania season. So
yeah, if that's the case, what better way to have somebody over there on Raw as a challenger, as somebody to get involved with Roman than Bronson? So you can carry it through and get through that initial wave of Raw and Netflix, getting eyes and viewers to tune in and leading into the Rumble. So, yeah, I don't think he stays around like permanently moved into the group on SmackDown, but it's
back pocket guy. Yeah.
Talk about a fit, boy. Yeah, but so many layers. Just so many layers. So yeah.
You can always call somebody from the Superstation too. You know?
That's being held hostage right now, didn't you know?
all right, shall we head into Full Gear?
Oh yes.
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 This is a part of the show for those of you that don't realize where we give our predictions for the pay-per-view card and give our match of the night. But this part of the show is going to be a heavy burial of everything that went into getting to tonight's card. A heavy burial.
So Steve mentioned grabbing a drink earlier. Go ahead. We'll talk about 0 Hour. You can miss those, and we'll talk about. Just join us for the main card here.
The promotion that fuels my fire, boy.
Up first, we got 0 Hour, Buddy Matthews, Dante Martin, Commander, and the Beast Mortis.
How'd this match come about?
Thrown together.
Who's taking the pin?
No, but Dante Martin.
Commander or Dante?
Dante Martin.
Yep.
Buddy Matthews.
No.
It's either him or Beast Mortos.
I'll go Beast Mortos.
It's going to be Dante.
Buddy needs
to win.
Buddy needs to win.
Buddy needs to play
into something.
Yeah, but after taking that jobbed out pin from Adam Cole, that was unbelievable. He needs something.
That's what I was going with too, Donald. Just give him something. It's 0 Hour. What does it really matter?
This match would have been better on Rampage last night. You already had 2 matches set up on 0 Hour. Like,
that's how Rampage needs to be set up before a pay-per-view. That should be 0 Hour.
Well, Rampage could have been a mush last night with the only bright spot on Rampage was who?
Holly Cameron.
Holly Graham. Holly Graham, the long lost sister of Hologram, the luchador of all luchadors.
That was her name.
Holly Graham. Yep. She came out with the hologram mask on to challenge Thunder Rosa to a Lucha Libre match next week. Bro, it was tremendous. It was tremendous. It's the most entertaining thing on Rampage last night.
I honestly missed almost
Mina,
all of her stuff.
And Mina was on Rampage last night, and I still had more entertainment out of Holly.
Mina could have been the Mount Rushmore just off of Wednesday.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your personal Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, what's next on 0 Hour?
Everybody go?
I'm not picking this match. It's no decision for me.
Deanna versus Anna. I mean, could be a great match here, but
now, yes, this was thrown together. However, they at least had something put out there to explain this match taking place. So there was a video package vignette that they put out on social media to explain why this match is taking place. Another group that's using vignettes to their advantage is the Vendetta with Taya and Deanna. Like, it's getting me to buy into them. So now let's start to see something happen.
But Anna's the one that's kind of hot right now.
This is the one thing I hate about AEW right now. It's like you're putting people together just to put people together, but you're killing people's momentum in the middle of that.
Exactly.
Look, what's the famous saying? One goes over, one gets over. Right? One goes over, one gets over. That's the famous saying in pro wrestling. That's the end goal for every single match that transpires. One goes over, one gets over. And they continue to just look at that statement and say, that don't matter.
So who did Cheetah just fight this weekend? Into
She
the
did-
L.
Statlander.
Statlander
Yeah.
for no
And you-
reason.
The dead momentum killed her momentum.
That
You even
that
heard
was
her push on
almost
Rampage.
my mush.
Oh, yeah, that whole segment was. Yeah.
Just like,
As-
how are you going to put Sheeta as a stepping stone to Chris Statlander getting a title shot this week? Like,
And before that, the promo with Statlander and Sheeta's like, it's about time somebody beats Mercedes bony ass. Okay, let's take that person that just said that statement and face her against who? The challenger for the title. Like, what booking sense does that make?
And then again, Camille in, Camille out.
She's
Revolving
I-
door.
I don't even
She came into the ring and went right out the ring.
bro, I don't even call her my Camille anymore. She's literally the Straw House.
I call this the rise of Camille. This is what I'm banking on. I'm hoping for it. I'm just picturing this as the rise. No longer.
hopefully. How much worse can it get?
Apparently, they continue to. That's
Oh,
a
they did it
statement that they say every
four
single
straight.
week because it gets worse and worse each week.
It's been 4 straight weeks.
You're being worked.
I'll
I got
go
Dion.
with
Dion.
I'll go with Deanna. And I don't want to necessarily see Anna jump into another group, but
Gotcha.
her, Deanna, and Taya definitely intrigues me together as a group.
Deanna should win. I'm going with Anna though. I think she has the momentum right now.
And that'll just kill this whole group before it even
That's,
gets started.
It's what are they doing though with it?
I know we just said it. I know, but yeah, like I know we literally just said it. But
That's why I'm going Deanna.
Now Steve's match of the night. Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall.
I'm not even gonna respond to this fucking shit that I atrociously put my eyes on on Wednesday. I don't know what I saw.
Was it
I'm not
no boom?
responding to this.
No
I
boom.
didn't. No.
well, last night they had a weigh-in.
No.
That QT rigged the scale, so Big Boom stepped on and was 550 pounds. However, he did take he took a hell of a diamond cutter though, so you could tell that he definitely has wrestling experience because
He does.
and the Rizzler, the announcement of the Rizzler, this little 8-year-old chubby kid is like that got the loudest pop of the crowd all week in Reading. Look, I wanted to come on here and just bury this with a 14-foot shovel. However, stepping back for a moment and thinking about what is pro wrestling and how pro wrestling does things.
Yep.
This is quintessential pro wrestling.
100%.
It is.
And I think it actually hit me when the interview segment backstage, when they screenshotted it and showed the total number of views on that alone, it had like, I think it's like 10 million views.
What other AEW talent, and I know they're not AEW talent, but what other AEW talent has been on the Tonight Show to promote this match?
None. He did yesterday. Did you see the press run that they did yesterday for this pay-per-view? They were on the Today Show, ESPN, and like 2 other of the big media outlets and networks and shows. And it's him. And he's putting over AEW.
Yep.
And he's cutting promos that don't sound like you're just a fan mark in the moment. You actually sound like a worker. Like he is doing everything that needs to be done to promote this show. They have over 10,000 tickets sold now. Go back a couple weeks ago and look at the numbers. They only had like 5,000 seats sold for this pay-per-view. There was no interest in it. People weren't buying tickets. And now I'm not saying everybody, 5,000 people bought tickets to see Big Boom, AJ, and the Rizzler. But at the same time, how do you not quantify what's been done from a ticket sales standpoint since they started rolling this announcement out?
Mhm.
So I've completely flipped on myself here. I wanted to come in and bury the hell out of this. But again, maybe I'm at the age where I'm not fully aware of his cultural impact as far
Sure.
as celebrity status, because I don't know who half of these TikTok stars
Yeah.
are.
It might not be our
and everything
thing, but
else.
Mhm.
every wrestling promotion's done this in the past.
Now
WWE
watch him.
included.
Now watch him do this event, and then he'll go on and he'll have a match at WrestleMania a la Johnny Knoxville. WWE will take this and blow it up times 1,000.
Good chance.
So yeah, kudos. Big Boom AJ's going over.
I agree.
QT, because I don't know the guy. I don't care about Big Boom. Get him off my screen. I love how you laid everything out. Just don't care about it.
Yep. With his superhuman samurai cyber squad braces on. Fuck out of here. You don't want to bury him? I'll bury his ass.
He looks like the baseball team that shows up to the softball team that shows up to the softball league where everybody's in their 50s. They got Bengay on and a brace on every single joint. They're drunk as hell and they just beat you like 24-2 by the end of the game. You have no idea what happened.
I mean, what was QT doing before this? A QT win that isn't needed. So
Last time I saw QT was QT TV. That's the last time I saw him.
I
He
was
was
there
burying
for it.
Batista.
Yeah, Big Boom.
that's 0 hour. Main card, MJF versus Roderick Strong. No, I don't care about this match.
MJF.
Yeah, agreed. But
MJF.
Yeah, MJF's winning, but like, yo, this is so just is the match gonna slap? Probably. Is it gonna be really good? Probably, because both of these guys can freaking go in the ring.
Yeah.
Roddy is not rated where he should be in ring wise. Roddy's character has been tremendous in AEW. The whole Adam, the neck brace gimmick after he damn near almost literally broke his neck, like neck strong, the whole 9 yards. Like, but MJF pulling up in that fucking Porsche or whatever it was out in the middle of the field, telling some
Go chase
who
the
knows
chain.
what schmuck to keep the change, sit on the hood of your car and cut a promo about how your mom shot your dad in front of your eyes and that's traumatic. Like, it does nothing. It's the same thing over and over again with you, and I'm over it. I'm over everything about it. I'm over every single tie-in between MJF, Roderick Strong, Adam Cole, over everything.
So still coming down the pipe.
oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Again, over it.
You know what the best part of this whole little story angle feud has been? Is Kyle O'Reilly coming to the ring and telling Adam Cole on Wednesday night, "You're not the guy."
That he finally got Dynamite time?
You're not the guy, Kyle. You're not the guy, Adam. You're not the guy.
He ain't either.
That's been the best part of this. Get these people away from each other, please.
And what Revolution's now? I think like March 1st. This will probably be dragged on until Revolution.
You said March now. Damn.
Yeah.
They pushed it back.
I just see this going on and on. All right, up next, Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page.
This is the match I'm most invested in.
Complete
Like-
story.
I mean, it's a match that's going to deliver, I think.
Video package again Wednesday night. Hey man, you don't know who the fuck I am. I'm the man they named the pay-per-view after. I was like, oh, shit. Oh. Again, potential match of the night. These two are going to go at it and slap. Give me Jay White here. And this is more me being a Jay White fan in this situation. I know Hangman is on that tier of, Moxley, MJF, Orange Cassidy, where he doesn't lose in AEW. But give me Jay White here.
I feel like Jay White needs it. Give me Jay White.
That's
Jay
what I'm
White.
leaning.
Go ahead, Chris.
Hangman can just still drop further into character.
Like, I don't feel like either one, a loss is hurting them in this feud, but like this is Jay's first big match coming back. Like, I kind of feel like he needs the win more than Hangman here, since since Hangman just got out of the big Swerve feud, coming off a high from that.
Yeah. Definitely Jay White. He needs it a lot more than Hangman. Just like
I don't
Jason
know
said, Hangman could keep it just going down the tubes, and it will
And
build
I-
on his character.
And I don't know if Jay White's been a wasted signing because he got injured. So I feel like the plans for Jay White changed, obviously, because of his injury and the time he's been out. So maybe if you're coming back in and you're being pitted against Hangman right away, coming back in, to me, your spot is not questioned because that's Hangman. And Hangman's arguably been the MVP of AEW for the 5 years it's been in business.
Before Jay got injured, I mean, he was the guy on Collision there for the longest time.
Yeah, it was his show, not CM
Yeah,
Punk.
no, like he was the entertainment on Collision. So yeah, I mean, unfortunately, he got injured, and it did what it did. But yeah, I'm going with Jay too. Up next, Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley.
Look, man, for you not to advertise Bobby Lashley's first AEW Dynamite match is a missed opportunity. For you to debut Bobby Lashley in an unannounced AEW Dynamite match against two people, regardless that Cheeseburger is one of those two people.
You gotta pop.
I love Cheeseburger.
I was gonna say there's two people on this show that I was surprised Cheeseburger wasn't their mush this week.
But to do it in that way, again, just disappointing. Like you're not making me believe Bobby Lashley more just because he beat up two people. It's Bobby fucking Lashley. He's been around for 20 years. Everybody knows who he is. Will this match deliver? Yes. Do I expect something to transpire during this match to further the Hurt Syndicate, etc.? Yes. That's what I'm looking forward to the most. Is this going to be a 5-star classic and everybody going to be talking about this match as one of the best on the show? Probably not. But I am curious to see how Bobby looks, because when you saw Bobby in TNA and he had his run in TNA, that's a different Bobby than WWE Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Bobby's going to surprise some people tonight as far as them watching him in ring wise. Just like Shelton's been blowing people's doors off and saying, "Oh shit, Shelton does this." Yeah, Shelton's really like that.
Yeah.
Shelton's really like that. It's just not in WWE.
You need to see Shelton 15 years ago, not Shelton from 5.
Yeah. So I'm gonna enjoy this match. Give me Lashley. Give me Lashley.
Same.
Bobby.
Yep, Bobby.
Ospreay versus Fletcher.
Again, emotional investment until you ruined it. And I talked about it on the podcast last week with the run-ins and everything else that transpired during that promo segment. I know it's Ospreay, and Ospreay's the golden boy. Ospreay's 5-star match king, and Ospreay this and Ospreay that. But if Ospreay, and he did this with Swerve, wanting Swerve to win and beat him, right? Because it would mean more to Swerve and stamp him. This is a stamp moment for Kyle Fletcher. So if you're going to actually make Kyle Fletcher a guy for people to look at and go, okay, where are you as far as, upper mid-card main event title picture? This is a very good spot to, put your best foot forward in this case by having him beat Ospreay. Is it going to happen? Probably not. Do I want to see it happen? Yes. So I still say potential for a match of the night, but I want Fletcher just because I feel like you got to start building out these people.
Yes.
And if that's really your friend, you want to elevate him. And if that's what they're trying to do, yeah, you got to put him over in this match.
And I don't think that Will would be opposed to doing that. It's more Tony giving the approval for it to happen, right? Like
it doesn't have to be a clean win by any means. And
no.
With Callis there, it probably won't be, because Fletcher is more willing to take that step more than Ospreay was. We've told that story how many times now with Ospreay and Callis. So I'm gonna go with Fletcher on here.
I got Fletcher for the win. I got Mark Davis turning on Will and joining the Callis family.
Yeah.
I got Ospreay just because he's with the family. I don't feel like the family does nothing for anybody. So
I have Fletcher. Just like Steve said, it's time to build some people. It's time. You can't rely on the same people over and over and over again. And they're friends too, so I think it's gonna be one hell of a match.
Yeah. This could possibly be match of the night for me. But we'll see. There's a few of those on here.
I mean, you could argue for all four that we just announced and talked through. Legitimately. Like in ring bell to bell, you could argue could be match of the night between those four.
All right, first title match. World Tag Team titles, Private Party, Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed.
I don't give a shit about any of this. This is here's your sign. Here's your prize. Here's your time.
I was doing this whenever I was putting this card together last night. I was just like, why do I feel like the matches without titles are going to be a lot better than the matches with titles?
The AEW Tag Team division is a joke.
Yes, it is.
And that was supposed to be the strong point of the promotion.
there's no way you're taking the belts off Private Party after a week.
You know what promotion we're talking about?
Put them on there, yeah.
And it is to me, everybody from House of Black is taking a loss. Then Julia Hart comes back and pulls them back together.
I got Private Party retaining, and this is the breakup between the Acclaimed.
Never thought of that.
Bowens is going to take the loss. Caster's going to turn. The Acclaim will break up.
Interesting. I love Private Party. They were favorite tag team at AEW, but the Outrunners be selling me on their vignettes and everything.
So good.
I'm going with the Outrunners.
So
I don't care. I'm going with the Outrunners.
So, I mean, it's 80s cheesy.
I'm running with it.
Private Party retains.
Ico Pro, Zubaz, and fanny packs? Yeah. Yeah. All I need is an IBF, bodybuilding competition banner in the background, and it's like quintessential 80s of 80s.
Have a Hogan poster in the back with its eyes blurred out and stuff so you can see.
Jason, do you give yours?
Yeah, Private Party.
All right, TBS Championship. Mercedes versus Statlander.
Monet.
I want to give it to Statlander again.
When are you going to move Mercedes up?
Yeah.
But you can't do it right now because Mariah's champ. And Mariah's a heel.
He's killing it. He's killing it.
Yeah.
And Mercedes hasn't built up the equity to become a fan favorite in AEW babyface yet.
Jason hasn't been a Mariah fan.
No, he said Mariah's killing it from what? She don't even come across my timeline. That's how much he's killing it.
Man.
Yeah, but we all know what you search on your timeline. So
yeah, on my timeline.
Should be on his timeline.
They're also a more fit division than Mariah made. She's a bum. Get her out of there. Where's Tony at?
I got Mercedes.
Retired. Tony retired this week. You see that?
It'll be the quickest coming out of retirement ever in 48 hours.
I need Wendy Richter to call her out so Tony comes out of retirement for that match.
Yeah, Mercedes.
I think this is probably Camille's belt. So, however long that takes.
You know who?
You're
The who? They in and out. That's what I heard. They in and out the ring. Go in there and get her. There she go.
It's like Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner bad with Camille right now.
Yeah.
Especially this past week.
She did it with heels on too. Like, man.
And a sling.
Yeah, I thought she was about to break an ankle when she was falling out those ropes.
Mercedes is winning. But I'm kind of over the title run.
It's getting stale. It is.
Like I need somebody. I need to see who somebody is, whether it's Statlander or
I don't know. I know Mercedes talks about, you know, the AEW women's division and being so great and all this stuff and everything else, right? But the amount of regression that she has had since she's come in, this should be a pillar. This should be a stalwart. This was a proven entity. This was a superstar of superstars. This was arguably one of the top 3 or 4 women's wrestlers on the planet.
And it hasn't accounted for much right now.
And now all I've gotten since she's come on screen and debuted in Boston is say hello to your CEO. That's all I've gotten.
Well, the fans don't give a shit. So what?
They gave her FU chance on Wednesday.
Every time, shut the fuck up. Every time.
Because it's the same.
Come on home.
It's the same thing.
Again,
Stevie did say a long time ago.
Go back to my PSA.
It's the same stuff. Long time ago.
I said it. She's not going to be a fan favorite outside of the initial pop for the signing. Why? Because she's viewed as being WWE. It's the same reason why they turned on Cody. Because he was always a WWE guy. Everything about his presentation, everything about his promos, everything about his matches was WWE. The only way for Mercedes to go in there and get away from the WWE Sasha Banks was to actually let her go in there and do what she did in New Japan and actually show out bell to bell and win people over by her in-ring work.
Yeah.
And you did not do any of that. You had her come out there and cut promo after promo after promo after promo after promo.
And her matches so far haven't delivered to
Of course they're going to turn on her.
Yeah.
Her best match was with Stephanie Vakir, and Stephanie signed with WWE the moment that match ended. She didn't even shower in the locker room. She went right back and signed an NXT contract.
Yeah, it's the same thing. The boss and the CEO are the exact same thing.
But the boss had more depth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for
the
sure.
boss had more believability. The boss put on better matches. The boss showed up and showed out. The boss main evented WrestleMania. The boss was talked about amongst everybody everywhere. Nobody's talking about the CEO, Mercedes Moné. And from arguably one of the biggest Mercedes Sasha stands out there.
It's bad.
It's bad. Like bad right now. Maybe I'll book How You Fix Mercedes and watch that play out.
They need to do something like that. So while we're talking about Mariah's going to be doing her champagne.
We're talking about Mariah. What do you mean?
we're in this thing.
I tried to leave.
You put the spotlight on yourself. So what do we think is going to happen in the championship celebration?
Tony Storm comes back. Enough said, move on.
A lot of shaking.
Champagne wishes, caviar dreams. Tony Storm comes back as Tony Storm and not timeless Tony Storm.
Okay.
No bread, no water, just me. Just a cake.
She's been around the world as timeless Tony Storm and has lost everywhere she's gone. After she lost the belt, she went to Japan and lost. She's gone to Mexico and lost. She's battled the best of the best and has lost. And now she will find herself and be back to Tony Storm.
No, that's developing a character. That's doing the work.
Yes, that is.
Oh, she's put in the work.
Oh,
That's
that
committed.
is.
Most work out of any talent right now.
Yes, it is. 101.
TNT Championship.
Skip.
Jack Perry versus Daniel.
Skip.
Oh God.
Skip.
That
I
shit
saw
on Wednesday was the worst.
I've watched sixth grade Christmas plays that were more entertaining than that fucking film video package they put out on Wednesday night.
Daddy Magic could have been my mush of the week.
You let Daddy Magic get the best of you.
The whole thing that they're using Daddy Magic, like stealing the camera and shit, and then just like he's awful on commentary. That whole vignette this week, like
The Blair Witch 4 was filmed better than this fucking straight to DVD release after school special. I say by the bell moment BS they put out there. First off, you come from breaking what he's chained to the hood of the van. We just automatically chained him up to the hood of the van. Then we drive off to some, I don't know, back alley Baltimore shipping port destination. And now he's tied up to a chair. And then Daddy Magic kills him with a crowbar. And Daniel Garcia, this is the worst shit ever.
Because after I win a match or after I fight, my first thought is, where's Daddy Magic? Why is he not on commentary?
You want to talk about killing momentum and killing a character and killing something that had legs?
I believe he did.
Look at Jack Perry, the scapegoat. Look at all the momentum and all the build and everything that he did in New Japan. Look at that. And there were people behind him for that.
mm-hmm.
And that presentation did not come over to AEW.
And now that the Bucks are gone, what does it matter with him?
It's real glass, bitch.
Have him go back and forge another leather belt title that he can make, in fucking the blowing glass class that he took, because that's what he does. He's blows right now. Okay. Everything he does blows. Blows. He probably blows Anna now. Not picking
timeout.
Not picking his match.
You're not going to kill Jack Perry for the likes of Daniel Garcia. Give me Jack Perry.
No, Garcia's winning this match. And new. It's happening. Book it. Spoiler alert. Go on FanDuel. Put your bet on. Daniel Garcia, new TNT champ.
I'm with Steve. What's the point of Jack Perry without the Young Bucks? Like, what are they doing with him? So there's no point to keeping the title on him.
She's the male Mariah May.
Jack Perry?
No, Daniel Garcia.
I'm not gonna let you continue to shit on Mariah May. Are you crazy?
Vanilla. Not even.
You love
vanilla.
vanilla.
Just
vanilla is your style. Vanilla is your flavor.
Hey, I don't like Mariah May vanilla.
Everything white is right in your eyes, and you're burying the bombshell that is Mariah May?
Yes.
The glamorous one?
I don't know where y'all see it. Pass.
I'm going Jack. And we got to stop this spitting in people's face stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
That'll get heat. That'll do it.
Takeshita versus Ricochet. A match that was just thrown together because fans wanted it.
Well, I mean, there has been some beef, and Ricochet's been calling him out and following him around and showed up at Maple Leaf Pro and everything else. So, like, there's a little bit here. It just got sidetracked because Takeshita had to take on Adam Cole for some strange reason in order to get to see who fights MJF.
Chris, you must have missed a shot where he was holding the belt. Oh, wait, they cut away.
They gave away the end result.
They're not
right
the
there.
only ones that cut away.
They gave away the end result. There you go, Jason.
I
agree with you.
If you have Ricochet beat Takeshita for this title,
I'll be done.
No.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Again, Takeshita's the heel. It doesn't need to be a clean win.
Yeah, he still has the ring.
Takeshita shouldn't even be in this spot right now because
No.
Takeshita should have been after Okada. That's the story. That was the match.
It was.
Not giving Takeshita this belt. That's the one that we wanted to see.
Yep.
If Tony Khan only listens to the fans, he didn't listen in that regard because that's what we wanted.
Oh yeah, they all say they listen to the fans, huh?
Because that little face off they had, just that little glare. That was it.
Takeshita needs to retain.
Takeshita.
Takeshita.
So,
But with all that burial being
being
said,
black.
can't be match of the night.
Out of all the title matches, that has most potential for me.
I mean, if you watch Takeshita and Mike Bailey, you can a la picture what Katesha and Ricochet are going to do.
Main event.
Where's the belt? This.
In a
Has
bag.
anybody seen Pac?
You didn't even show it in the graphic.
I think Pac. I think Pac took the suitcase back to England with him because I
I
haven't
think his
seen
pizza's
it.
gone again. There's something.
Just put the briefcase up as a graphic.
It's what?
I thought that
A backpack or a backpack versus a gym bag. That's what this match is.
Moxley.
I mean, that's a given, but
For me,
does anybody
Moxley's,
really think Orange has a chance here?
Moxley's going to win. Something's going to happen with Yuta. They're going to beat the hell out of Yuta, and Orange is going to turn and be a Death Rider.
Oh, you just want to jump the shark in every way possible with that. There's no way in hell.
The man having wore all black for no reason. Yuta still doesn't get along with everybody.
Look, the only saving grace in this entire Death Riders Moxley takeover of AEW bullshit that they killed whenever they had 20 babyface jobbers lined up outside the arena for 2 hours. The only bright spot, and continues to be the only bright spot, is Claudio killing Darby Allin week in and week out.
Hey, he cut a good promo in Swiss.
Yes, he did.
That was the best part. That was the best part.
Yes, he
Best
did.
part.
Yes, he did. As soon as he said Darby, turn it off.
Look, man, for this to be the main event and me not care considering that Orange has been a guy since day one is just completely blasphemous in the fact that you have no idea what to do when it comes to building proper stories and elevations and characters and everything else.
If this was a match 6 months into Moxley's title reign, maybe I think Orange has more of a chance to take the belt off him. But you're putting him as like the first contender in Moxley's title reign. Like,
again, I had a hard time buying and believing Orange Cassidy in this spot, even though he switched to black denim.
but he was even doing that before this.
But if you duct tape a man up and surround him by 4 people and he lightly taps your shins to stay in gimmick when he said he's not the same person anymore, I have no credibility in you at all. None. If I'm watching this pay-per-view later, I'm turning it off before this match starts and catching who won in the results on social media. Not wasting my time with this.
I mean, that's almost the whole pay-per-view, but
Does how we got here still affect you? Is that still a cloud over this whole story?
For
How
me,
we got
yes.
Or
How we got here
burning-
for this whole pay-per-view affects me. Because if you just look at the card on paper and look at match for match what it would be, it's going to deliver like AEW normally does as far as in-ring bell-to-bell match-wise. But that's not enough anymore. It hasn't been enough for a long time.
When you're putting out the money now almost every month for a pay-per-view, it needs to be better.
Without the title, would you care for the storyline?
No.
No, because we're just throwing together.
Oh, it's still bad. It's
Yeah.
still bad booking. It's still bad writing. It's still John Moxley's calling Orange Cassidy a dragon and all this other, like, you're trying to be cryptic for cryptic's sake. Like, you're not the Riddler and the Batman, Moxley. It's not hitting home.
Welcome to my side.
You're not bugged out.
But he's going to be one of those guys that the fans just, he can do whatever, and they're never going to be angry at him.
And the main character of this story is not even on this pay-per-view. Darby's the main character in the story.
I thought Yuta was the main character. That's what I'm looking for. I can care less about everybody else.
He'll show up after the match or in the match or something.
There was absolutely no reaction, and I mean no reaction, to Wheeler coming out on Wednesday night for that match against Orange.
The
There
whole
was
match.
no reaction for Orange. There was no reaction for Wheeler. There was no reaction for the match. It was none. Zero. Zilch. Why should I care about this main event? If the people buying the ticket aren't giving a reaction, why am I going to shell out money and care? And Wednesday night was indicative that the entire night was dead silent. One of the worst crowd reaction shows I think I've watched in the last 5-6 years. And you're talking 2018, 2019 WWE Ross type stuff. It was extremely bad Wednesday night.
Does this help or hurt Orange? Given that he's not the main guy in the story.
Like Chris said, it doesn't matter because they're still just going to pop for Orange to come out and do his shtick. It doesn't matter in their eyes. And I don't care how well you've done a November Rain and all the money you shelled out to license and sample Guns N' Roses song from 40 years ago and turn it into a hype video package for this pay-per-view. It's not getting me to pay the $50 to watch the pay-per-view.
Nope, not 1 cent.
And it's pissing me off because I don't want AEW to fail. But you're not AEW. There's nothing about you. Current state resembles anything that was your original mission statement when you started the company.
Yeah. Agreed. Steve, to your comment earlier about like how the fans didn't like Cody and that he was more WWE, why aren't the fans like that with Moxley?
Because he left.
Moxley left. Moxley, I know. Well, no, pause. Let me back that up. Moxley left. Cody left. So same there, right?
Yeah.
Cody went off on his own, did his own thing. Moxley went off on his own and did his own thing. When they were both in AEW, Moxley continued to do his own thing. There was nothing about Moxley's presentation, demeanor, match style, quality, promo, gear. There was nothing that resembled Dean Ambrose WWE. That's John Moxley. That's who John Moxley was before he got to WWE. That's who John Moxley was whenever he left WWE. That's John Moxley in AEW. Cody left, did his own thing outside of AEW, and was Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare. Had a heel run, everything throughout the sun. ROH, TNA, New Japan was different. The second AEW started and got back into play, that's Cody Rhodes, the superstar. Everything about Cody was WWE. His storylines, his gear, presentation, breaking thrones, like all that is WWE stuff.
I mean, I don't think Cody's promos were any different in AEW that they were in Ring of Honor or New Japan. It was all the same. Now, the breaking the thrones, yes, like I'll give you that, but I don't think his character development was any different than what it was before.
It was just something about that crowd that
go look. Cody's beginning run and storyline rate. If you go up and through the Jericho feud, after Jericho, when Cody couldn't challenge for the belt no more, and start looking at some of his stories and what he did in promos and everything else. You had the stuff with QT. You had the stuff with Anthony Ogogo, and probably the worst segment AEW has ever done was that weigh-in. Yeah. That's WWE stuff. Fans didn't want that from Cody. They didn't believe that Cody was going to do that. That went back against everything that Cody said leading up to AEW becoming a thing.
I think we just had a weigh-in.
Yeah. But then what happens? He goes to WWE and then they share.
I think he was still a main character, but not like you were still a main focus of AEW, but you weren't the. If you were always you were always higher on the show than where you were as a talent. If that makes sense.
I think it's just as simple as when you look at Cody in AEW and you look at Moxley in AEW. When I look at both of them together, I look at Cody and see WWE. I look at Moxley and see AEW. If that makes sense. Like Moxley's the anti-establishment, the anti-everything, the make a change, just in ring, like just everything is not like it's not WWE.
To me, I see no difference in Moxley. To me, Moxley's the same guy through and through.
I think the only difference that I'm seeing, Jason, is hardcore, like the hardcore matches. That's it.
I'm seeing. As for Cody, I'm seeing his growth as a character.
All right. We went into overtime today, so any quick hits before we wrap things up?
We skipping the game then?
Yeah.
Let me just double check real quick. Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd was officially announced for Wrestle Dynasty. So Omega is back. Will wrestle for New Japan. MLW Slaughterhouse will be live on beIN Sports and YouTube November 23rd for free. The only reason why I bring this up is because some of the matches do have my interest peaked. So you got Matt Riddle against Suzuki, Kenta against Paul London, Kojima against Bobby Fish, Dijak against Kevin Knight.
I don't ever need to see Riddle on my screen ever again.
The Suzuki World Tour.
Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling put the full match of Takeshita and Speedball Bailey on their YouTube channel. So again, if you want a little preview of what potentially him and Ricochet could look like tonight in a really good match, go watch that.
I'm surprised they haven't announced another event yet.
We talked about that a little bit last week, like what time frame they could potentially go under and see. And then I have other things, but lastly, Jay Briscoe's daughter, Gracie Pugh. There was a little story this week that came out about her. If you remember, obviously, when the car accident happened that cost Jay his life, the damage that his daughters who were in the car went through and everything. Gracie announced she can properly walk again and jog. So looks to be a full recovery for her. So shout out to the Pugh family. That's something that was in the worries for a while, as if she would ever recover in that. So, good to see that she was able to get back to that point in time there. So that's all I got. The other stuff matters, but doesn't matter, like you said, for right now. So,
Donald, Jason, you got anything?
Well,
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in to episode 215 of the Dumb Marks podcast. Make sure you follow us on all social media. Like we said earlier, hit up YouTube at Dumb Marks Pod. Follow us on Spotify. Give us a follow and a listen there. And right now, prowrestlingtees.com/dumbmarkspod. Get 20% off the merch through December 1st for Black Friday. And if we don't got anything else, the quote of the week: growth cannot coexist with comfort. We'll see you next week.